Lights on, microphone on, timer on. Hey guys, so just like the title says, yes, I did travel in mid-pandemic, and this is how it was. I have my notes here, just nope, it won't actually stand still. Cool. Okay, so while I'll be actually seeing some obviously footage from my trip, I wanted to give you my 3 main points. You know, just to give you a bit of a context, so I just won't blamber along with no main reason. So first one is why. Second one was where, and obviously the third one is how. Mainly, I did actually travel a couple of times this pandemic, so I kind of know a couple of things. You know, obviously a lot of rules change alongside each country, but the main goal, let's say the main scope or the main rules are still there. Pretty obvious why. Okay, so there's no particular order how I'm gonna say all these, but I would like to keep the how at the end, just because it will create a bit of more context and it will make more sense when they all come together. Okay, so I just want to start with why. Well, I think this one is fairly easy because it's very individual focused, like. Obviously, everyone has his reasons, right? Like you will want to travel because you want to relax, you want to disconnect, or whatever you want to do. So in a sense, this doesn't really give such a context here. Everyone has his own reasons. This actually leads me to the second point, which is where. In this particular situation, well, I'm recording this in December. I actually traveled in, I even forgot, maybe mid-October. Rules were a bit different than what they are now. Some are stricter, some are more relaxed. But again, you would want to focus on the countries or maybe the places, obviously, in those countries that are a bit more relaxed, because you wouldn't want to go somewhere, right, where it's a full lockdown and it's mandatory for you to, let's say, I don't know, quarantine for 14 days or maybe have a mandatory PCR test, obviously with negative. You want to be relaxed when you travel. So maybe do a small research just beforehand. Just ease your expectations when you land there. So the way I actually thought about this is I kind of like, okay, I didn't do a list of pros and cons, but I kind of like thought it through in a sense of like, okay, where is the risk bigger? Is that place populated in this particular time of the year? If it's end of season, if it's like end of summer, then people might not be present that much in that particular area. Or if it's winter, obviously in some particular places it might be a main attraction. Well, more or less in Europe. Maybe you would like to think about how dense is the city. Like if you're gonna be in the middle of nowhere, there's no risk there. If you're gonna be on an island as well, there's the risk might be smaller or bigger depending on the island, obviously. But then again, you want to actually think these situations through, just in case you might end up in a full lockdown while you're there, and you want to avoid that specifically if you're gonna leave and go back home, right? Okay, so this actually leads me to the last point, which is how. I would check the restrictions in advance. I already said that, sorry for repeating myself, but you want to make sure that you have to do some things in advance, right? So when I traveled in Portugal, in my particular situation, so we had to fill a form, which was mandatory. So you had to present that form before boarding. Some countries have this form, but some requirements are not actually the same for all countries. For instance, when I came in Romania to visit for my mother's birthday, it was completely different because there is a form, but it's not mandatory. I mean, I think it is, but no one asks it. So, you know, again, it really matters from country to country. So in this situation, you know, you want to avoid all that, oh, I didn't know, or, you know, be in an awkward situation, specifically when you're boarding the plane. People kind of like ask you, you know, the crew asks you, like, so do you have the form? And you're like, what form? But then again, you know, you want to be informed, so be a bit proactive, check these kind of things up front, and, you know, avoid the, let's say, hustle at the end, right? Maybe some countries will ask for a PCR test, right? I don't know if that's okay or not. It makes sense from their point of view, but I don't know. It's too much of a hustle just for like a weekend or for a couple of days when you want to go and disconnect. It's just my opinion. Maybe you guys have a different one. So, okay, so once you actually figure all these things out, you know, these form, PCR test negative, etc., you would want to check, you know, how is that city though? Like, are restaurants closed? Do they have, you know, proper precautions? Are you gonna go there and just literally stay in your room? Transportation or anything else after 9 closes? And you're like, you know, you're basically moving from an apartment to apartment just because you want to disconnect. I don't think that's a proper disconnection, but again, you know, some people will like that. And, you know, last but not least, obviously, once you're done with all those checks, book in your apartment, book in your room, see if you like what you find, and, you know, check with the owner if, you know, a couple of precautions are made in advance, like, you know, proper cleaning. A thing that I actually liked specifically with Airbnb is that some places you don't even meet the owner. You literally just have a box with the key, and they will probably give you the code. Well, have to give the code to get in. And yeah, I mean, these kind of things, they don't really matter in a non-pandemic, you know, situation, but now I think they do, and you probably want to limit your, you know, contact with people that specifically you don't even know personally. So yeah, that's kind of it from my end. I hope I helped at, you know, at least if I helped at least 1% of the people that watch this, I did my part. And thank you again for watching and for you know, waiting all this time till the end. That's a very bad ending. So thank you for watching, and, you know, let me know what you think in the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, cool. Hi there. Hi. More or less, no. It will make more sense when they all come together at the end. No.